Hello people, and welcome back to News View. In this video, I'll be going over the new Jackpot skills and what I think they are worth right now. This is probably going to change by the time Raid Up for the seal rolls around. Everyone's had a chance to mess with these characters a bit more, but yeah. Alright, so I maintain my opinion that the game in its current state, it's actually just so bad. Like, there are too many Machinas, and yeah, that's still my opinion. I've kept all the small prizes here. I haven't changed the ranking. I've just swapped out their character images, just 5 of them. And so we're starting off with the 1% Jackpot X, who can virtual rebirth into 2 forms. So there he has 3 forms, all of which I think are bad. But first off, there's an energy tank ability exclusive to this crossover seal. Basically, it's like all the other, not all the other. This one doesn't deplete charges. It only consumes the power. So if your Draconic has like 2 charges, it doesn't like eat one of the charges up, but it just consumes the whole thing. So you need to recharge it back up again. So you get still depth. You get CD -1, EP +1, fuel +50, and fully recover HP. So you can do that like every like 3 or 2 turns if you have like the correct setup, or like basically like on average it'll be 3 to 4 turns, right? Like not very not like game changing, but you will get your fuel and your skills like up like faster than usual, I guess. So first off, X, completely like unremarkable. It is actually like, I don't know like why this card's a 1%. He's so bad. So in his base form, I mean, you're looking at this, you know, you get HP and recovery times 1.3. 1.3 is like pretty much like the standard now, which is kind of sad, but I mean, it's the standard now, so it's standard. But then, apart from like attack multipliers, he relies on like, he basically relies on water, light, and heart. You know, he relies on his own attribute in light and heart. So, I mean, that's fine, but he doesn't have any recovery like tools, except for like heart moonstones. So that's kind of bad. Other things, I mean, like, yes, like other things technically also have the effect of water. I think he should be running like a rainbow setup, but having like 3 types of runestones in a rainbow setup is fine. But again, just the lack of recovery, except for heart runestones, is not very good. So he works on basically you want to finish up all your spinning time, and then he ignores like different things based on his different forms. In his base form, he ignores fixed combo and initial shield. Not really good things to ignore, because you can fixed combo shield, like if he has that many seconds, you can spin the fixed combo shield. Come on. And initial shield, like, you can solve it by basically having the ability to take a hit, which is, I mean, much more useful than just initial shield, you know? Having more like defense, like defensive capabilities is better than just straight up breaking the field just by ignoring it, in my opinion. This is something worth mentioning. X can change attribute based on the leader, if the leader is a Machina and X is just a member. For his ability, we have finally gotten to the point where the skill is such an essay that you get 2 pictures. I think this, actually no, this is a lie. I think this happened like back when like Gurren Lagann came out with the ultimate combination, and there were like 10 points. I think there were like 2 pictures or more than 2 pictures, but this is the first time that one card that is not like, you know, ridiculous, built to be ridiculous, has I think extended to 2 pictures. But he is essentially like, you can call him a better version of Boilerman, Boilerman, in case you've forgotten, is this guy. He's a converter, but he is CD1. So, like, you can call him a better Boilerman because he is a better converter, but he is also CD2. He can restore cracked positions, which is, like, the main reason why this card exists in the first place. Just, yeah, in terms of, like, shield breaking capabilities, and that's about it. In his other forms, you get like 1.5, which is a bit better in the HP department, but again, like no recovery option apart from your normal recovery, which is just really bad in like today's meta ecosystem, whatever. In this form, he ignores Trio Elemental and Quintet Elemental, which, like, no, is not needed, because actually there is one card that ignores Quintet. It's a Kagaman Ridden Len. You don't actually need the other two to ignore Quintet. You just need some Machina Moonstones, which, I mean, you can just get from like other places, you know. And for Trio Elemental, you got Pompeii. You know, he's a converter who converts out. Like you can also solve like Trio Elemental by like. He's like the best option I could find for Machinas. He has all Machina cards, and I'm assuming that. Well, I mean, he can only like have Machinas in his team. Yeah. So yeah, that's your other option. And yeah, I don't like you have like other cards that can just like enchant the board or like partially convert the board, and then like if all else fails, you can use your Draconic, you know, to break Quintet Elemental shields. So this is not really good. Like, it's really not that good. And in his active skill, you explode 3 rows to generate water and heart moonstones in a 6 combo fashion. Where have we seen that before? I wonder. Alright. Yeah, this is just like, not very good because this skill already exists and better. Come on. In his other form, second order, this is 1.4. I think this is this a high multiplier? Yeah, this is a bit higher in the attack department, and it's still, there is no recovery option apart from heart moonstones. So that's really like what's bad about X as a leader. In this form, he ignores defense and puzzle shield. Absolutely worthless. Like, if you're Machina, you can output so much damage that you can ignore defense anyway. And Pompeii, who I mentioned before, can ignore puzzle shield by his active, so completely useless. His active, hello. Alright. I don't think I need to say more about that one. Just, X is, like, basically only his base form is useful. I'm placing it at 50 diamonds here because he's the only card that can only Machina that can restore cracked positions presently. I'm sure that'll be like a concern in the future because, you know, it's exclusive to this card and, you know, Madhead wants you to pull for the 1%. But again, there are probably ways to get around it, such as extending your board by, you know, Gurren Lagann. Once again, I can't, this is not the image, it's the brother of Simon. Is it Kamina? I forget the name of the character, but yeah, you can extend your board and then you have a bigger board, you know, like plenty of ways to get around cracked moonstones, I think. You can also just add combos by large variety of cards. Okay, so next, 0. An actual good leader and member. So that's why I placed him like slightly above what he is actually worth, which is 50 diamonds. As a leader, you can put in, you can put fire cards and Machina cards into his team. Although like it's basically one or the other. Like it's either a fire team or sorry. It is a fire Machina team, but if needed, you can borrow like non-Machina fire and non-fire Machina. Yeah, if need be. But he focuses on fire and heart runestones. There's no runestones have effects of other runestones sort of deals. But yeah. So his HP multiplier is really good. 1.5 on both sides is a sizable amount of HP. The attack multiplier is okay as well. He focuses on combos and EX combos. So for each combo made, he recovers HP. So basically, he doesn't depend on recovery, which is good. You know, this is actually unique card design. You know, for once, I'm not yelling at a card. For his active, this is base form by the way, he gets transformed. In his base form, he explodes all frozen runestones. Once again, why the frick would you need X to explode frozen runestones when you have like this card that just actually explodes frozen runestones? He is a converter. He also ignites all enemies, converts them into fire, and then gives himself an attack boost. So that's pretty good. For his switching, he can dodge like for 1 round. Dodge everything for 1 round. So this is very, very valuable. Yeah. If you remember for Hunter x Hunter, that what's that card? The Dark Human card? Dark Human Jackpot that I don't have. You know, now there are more and more cards that can dodge, but a card that can, like, I don't think a Machina card has had dodge or like damage reduction yet. Of this sort of, like, this is very powerful, you know. It's basically Diamond all over again. You know, except, you know, Diamond has 2 rounds obviously, but this is still really powerful. His shield breaking capabilities and his other skills are also really good. As a leader, Fire and Heart have the effect of each other. When you get extra attack when you reach 6 or more EX combo, which is very easy because he gives you EX combos. You get extra spinning time, which is a given. Haha. I'm looking at you, Baal. I know they fixed him, but come on. You get CD reduction as well, which is quite useful, I think. So when he transforms, he gets a better leader skill on one side. Yeah. Yeah, he gets a better leader skill on one side, which is just stronger because you have him on both as leader and ally. And it's the stronger version of the stronger version when you transform your leader. Yes, thank you for making this very confusing for everyone. Team skill, he can ignore burning and even sticky, which is really, really useful. And of course the energy tank ability. I'll talk about Iris in a bit, and how basically Zero, you know, is, like, there are, I think, 2 ways to build Zero, but I'll talk about that a bit later. So here's the stronger version, not the stronger version, of the leader skill. And when he transforms, he gets more shield breaking things, such as stones. So you basically, if you activate all like his skills in reverse order, not reverse, like his second skill first and then his first, you ignite the enemy and then you explode all the fire runestones, so you have no fire runestones. Useful if you can't dissolve fire runestones, because you can drop fire runestones. I've said fire runestones too much in one sentence. But yeah, in his second skill, apart from igniting, he also converts. He can ignore initial shield. Again, a card that can ignore initial shield. Come on, X. And then he gives himself an attack boost, similar to his skill before he transforms. Alright, moving on. Iris. As a leader, can be used as an alternative leader for like a 0 Iris sort of leader and ally setup. I don't think that's going to be very good in terms of like shield breaking, or actually no, I don't think that's going to be very good in terms of attack, because 0 doesn't have a good base multiplier. His damage comes from combos, and I see this, this boost combos, which is the intention of the card, but I think just having him as double leader is still better, especially when he transforms. And also his recovery, his quote-unquote recovery, is also still tied to his leader skill, so having both sides, there makes you recover a large amount of HP. So fantastic. We just didn't translate this, like this, like in this news page, like literally, like English players get screwed twice. Okay, come on, man. Like, I know you don't care about the English player base, but like, at some point, like I don't even know. Okay, please, at least this is the baseline. Translate your stuff, man. Come on. Basically, this says that Iris is a farming leader. You convert like the leader and ally column into Enchanted Fire and Enchanted Heart, respectively, when the leader and ally is Iris. Sorry, when the leader is Iris and the ally is either also Iris or 0. So, that her as a leader also destroys the board once again. So, not very good in that regard if you're not farming. Next, Iris is active, C6. For 2 rounds damage received, so first is a damage reduction, second is ignore and electrified, third is a sort of Leonard effect, where you convert the first 5 runestones touched into whatever you touched. So it's actually better than Leonard. It's like, basically imagine Leonard, but like for whatever runestone you start with, apart from Heart. But I mean, if you're playing with 0, you won't need Heart anyway. So I guess that's to stop. I mean, to make this card not like overly OP, you can't convert Heart runestones. Fire attack can overpower fire. Negligible. And when this effect is in play, each time other Machinas activate their active, the effect stays in play for 1 more round. So, this is, very good, because it's intended for Iris to synergize with X, who has CD2, except I'm going to say now that actually it synergizes better with Boilerman, whose CD is 1, so you can have this effect literally forever. So, think about it. That's the first. So this is the Machina route for 0. You have 0, you have Iris, and you have Boilerman. So Boilerman basically is a converter, and you can convert Machina resistance as well if you need. And then at the right time, you can basically sustain this forever. Like this is basically. I can't remember how much darkness from a light human Konosuba reduces your damage by, but imagine 0 with like a constant damage reduction as well, on top of everything that already like exists. This is broken. By the way, if you're yelling at me that Boilerman is water, read the team skill, please. Just read it on the English page. I know, like, not everyone can understand Chinese, but yeah. And then the other route for 0 is if you don't necessarily need a full Machina setup, you can, I still recommend you bring Iris for just ignoring like sticky and burning. You can put in Yoko, and you can have a lot of fire and heart, and you have, you can also put in, what's that card? is so old. I can't remember. Okay, hold the phone. Yeah, this card. You know, he can boost the member next to the left of him. I mean, so you put this next to 0. 0 like has an insane attack boost that is multiplied again by like Yoko, or you can like get the whole thing. You know, you can get 0, you can get Iris, you can get Boilerman, you can get Yoko, and then you're left with 1 spot. But usually you want to be left with 2 spots, so that's why that's just the 3 to 4 if you count Saber-Tooth Tiger. It's 4 common members that you can put in 0 team depending on the situation. So lastly, for the seal characters, is a character that you can only get through dual maxing everyone. So when I first saw this card, I thought he was OP. His leader skill is like okay, nothing interesting, you know. It's just literally like X again, but with less attack. This is interesting. So CD8, you, based on the runestone, you end moving, you generate enchanted marker runestones, all that attribute in the first batch. So like you sky drop like the first batch, like that type of runestone. So this card is very unique, but like upon like thinking about it a bit more, there is like no shield that like needs him specifically. So this is certainly like a unique skill, but I just can't think of where to put him. So like unique cards like this either like one day may come in handy, or they just disappear and sit in your box forever. For that reason, I'm putting it at 5 diamonds because I don't know what to do with them. That's just the long and short of it. Next, we're moving on to free-to-play cards. Joint Operation, Bit CD6, convert the board into Light, Dark, and Dark. When all the Machinas have 100% fuel, enchant the board and Machinize. Turn all runes into Machina runestones. So you're wondering, why is this card here? That's right, they screwed over English players by literally not including this. You know, come on. How bad can you get? You know, Madhead, come on. But anyway, Earth Machina CD6, he comes from Arena. That's right. He is a direct damage dealer and also damage reduction for 70%. Not that useful. Next is Bi-weekly. Chill Penguin, Dark Machina CD6. For 1 round, freeze all enemies, turn them into water, and when the effect is in play, you ignore Tornado. Pretty good for a free-to-play card. So, that is it for this week's news review. To recap, 0 is actually good. So I would say, like, if you want to pull right away, which I don't recommend, 0 is good, Iris is good, X is like, if you get him, good, but like no, I'm gonna be aiming for 0 and Iris myself when the raid up comes. And yeah, if you like this video and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you have any questions, leave a comment. I always answer comments. And if you like this, leave a like. Yeah, that has been this week's news review, and I'll see you next week. See ya!